So what's up? Today I'm here to talk about the brake and clutch lever that I bought for my CBR 125R generation code JC50, and I bought the ones from Raximo, and they are the BCEs, and they are TÜV approved, which means they should have a very high quality. And I think they look fine, as you can see in the video, and they're adjustable with the distance to your actual grips. And the problem that I had with them after riding them with, I think, for 2 months now, I recognized that first of all they're a little wobbly, as you just saw in the video there, which just doesn't seem that high quality, but you do not recognize it when you drive. So it's just when I put them in, when I attached them, then I recognized it. But while you ride, you don't recognize it at all, because you don't lift up your lever when you pull the brakes or the clutch. But that is actually the problem, because on the brake lever there's like the sensor, the button which recognizes if you pull the lever or not to trigger your tail light, your brake light. And that one it's stuck, because you'll see it in a second. The adapter which is used for this bike doesn't really fit for that bike because it's too short. And I think they just tested it in the lab to approve it with TÜV, but as you can see here, it's if you pull it normally, the pin goes under the actual lever and it doesn't trigger your taillight, or it actually triggers it all the time. So when you drive, it's always triggered, and if you want to brake, then the oncoming traffic or the traffic behind you won't recognize you braking because it's lighting up all the time anyway. So I just changed them back to make sure that the bike is safe. But I think it's pretty sad because they cost like around $100, which is pretty expensive for a not really working clutch and brake lever, because they just were tested in the lab and not on the bike. So just to sum it up, to make sure you don't get this video wrong, the levers might be good on other bikes because they use the same lever on all the bikes where they're allowed to be used on, but they have different adapters. And I think they thought, okay, they tested it on one bike, okay, that bike, maybe a Honda as well, needs this adapter, and then they saw, oh, it looks pretty similar on the 125R as well, so they just used the same adapter, but they didn't really go and like went and tested. So maybe they are good on other bikes. I can just say on the 125R I would not buy them because it's very unsecure if your taillight is always lighting up, and when you actually are braking, then the traffic behind you just doesn't recognize it, which is pretty bad on a bike, because you know what happens if a car crashes into a bike on a traffic light or something like that. It's much worse for the biker than for the car.